Hi there, everyone. I'm here to talk to you today about spirituality. It's a huge topic. It's most confusing to many people. You ask people, what is spirituality? And they say, what do you mean? I'm a Christian, so I'm spiritual, or I'm Hindu, I'm spiritual. And I say, no, I don't want to know what your religion is. I'd like to know what you think of when someone says spirituality to you. And just a little bit about me. I was brought up Catholic, which was all fine and well. And I almost became a Catholic priest when I was about to leave school. But I changed my mind. I decided to go and do my national service, be a good guy for my country, and then think about it again when I came back. In fact, what I did was, for the last 6 months of my grade 12 year, I spent every Sunday, the whole day, at the monastery. It was a pre-novitiate period of time to learn a bit more about what the life of a priest is in the background that people don't know or don't see. And I found it interesting and quite inspiring. And so that's why I thought, okay, right, let me go and be a priest. Anyway, it never came to pass because after I'd done my national service, I decided to go to university, study commerce, and think more about it. But the thing is, throughout my life, I've been searching and searching for spiritual truth. Who is God? Where is God? Why is God? Who am I? Where am I? Why am I? What am I? And these questions, these daunting sort of questions, chase me my whole life. Basically, I've been wanting to know. Because you hear about spirit, you hear about soul, you hear about a person's soul, read certain scripts in the Holy Bible and other holy books that refer to the soul and the spirit. So I've always just been uncomfortable about this whole thing. In fact, even to the point that while I was still a Catholic, I thought to myself, well, if I'm a soul, because they referred a lot to being a soul, besides being a human, and so on. And then at a later stage in my life, I read many other theological books and found that many other Christians, referred to one spirit. I thought, okay, look, all right, this means that I'm a spirit or a soul, but I'm also a human being. So how do I put all this together? And when I was 21 in 1974, I was involved in a very bad motor car accident. I was a passenger in a car. The driver was driving at 90 miles an hour, going around a bend on the wrong side of the street. He had to cut across. And there was a car coming from in the opposite direction, and it was a head-on collision. I was in a coma for 3 months. I knew nothing. In fact, after those 3 months, when my parents came to see me, and I didn't even know who they were, nor my sister. I was like a newborn child. I knew absolutely nothing. I couldn't remember anything. And and I was told afterwards that in the first 2 days of my coma, I died 3 times. Because I'd gone through the windscreen and back in again. And my brain was hemorrhaging. So anyway, evidently, these are all things I've been told because I have no first-hand sort of knowledge of this. But the only thing that I could basically remember when I came out of the coma was that I couldn't really make sense of it at the time, but I had died. They told me I had died 3 times, and 3 times this happened that I sort of saw very thin veil, and I went through it into an incredible light. I can't even explain it. It's bright doesn't say it. Extremely bright doesn't say it. But there it was. And there were two men, and they said to me, "This is not your time. Not your time to pass. You must go back." And in fact, I remember probably thinking, maybe not saying, I don't know, but thinking that this is fine. I don't mind. If this is heaven, this is cool. Anyway, so and then on the second day, the surgeons were going to operate on my brain and to draw the blood out because my brain had hemorrhaged. But on the way, while the trolley was being pushed to the operating theatre, one of the doctors, the brain surgeon, asked for the x-rays that had been taken the day before of my brain so that he could pinpoint the best area to go into my brain to extract the blood. And what happened was they evidently pushed me aside. I mean, I experienced this is what I'd been told by my mother, my father. They thought, okay, now hang on, right, let's do further x-rays, not just look at the previous ones, but so they wheeled me to x-rays, did the x-ray, came back to the operating table, basically. And the surgeon looked at the x-rays and he said, but there is no more blood, no blood. The doctors were amazed. They couldn't make any sense out of this. To them, it was impossible. But what had happened was, the night before, my girlfriend's family knew a man who was a faith healer. They were known as faith healers in those days. And he had evidently come around to the hospital, placed his hands above my head. I mean, he couldn't put his hands on my head. My whole head was covered in blood and bandaged. And he evidently prayed for me. So I can only believe that this was the upshot. This is what had actually happened. However, I remained in a coma, as I said, for 3 whole months. And when I came out of the coma, I knew nothing. My father had to carry me, my stepfather had to carry me out of the hospital to the car, carried me and bossed me every day. I was an absolute vegetable, basically. And in fact, that is what they had said, what the neurosurgeon had said to my parents. I think on the first or the second day, that I'm basically brain dead. I'm a vegetable. And if I stay alive, if I live, I'll just be a total vegetable. Well, it turned out not being that way. This was 45 years ago. I'm still alive. I'm kicking. And I'm still very, very strongly searching for spiritual truth, which I believe I have found. Not that I have ever encountered God or Jesus or our Creator, call him whatever you like, personally, except in what happened when I had those visions or that experience in my post-death. Some people call it, what do they call it? An experience you have when you almost die. Well, the thing is, I did die 3 times, and I had that experience with being told it's not my time. So in my life, I've belonged to various Christian churches, doctrines. So I started Catholic. At some stage in my adult life, I became an Anglican. Thereafter, I am nothing. I didn't have any religion or any Christian faith that I was involved with. And then I joined a charismatic church, which to me was great because there was healing, there were wonderful scriptures going on. Wonderful sermons about scriptures. And so, for about 5 or 6 years until 1996, 95, 96, I was involved in that. But all the time, still wondering about spiritual truths. What is the truth? Where is God? Why is God? How do I find this information out? And anyway, eventually, I actually had a couple of one-on-one arguments with a very well-known pastor in a Catholic church in Johannesburg, South Africa, where I live in Cape Town. And I left. I left that church and decided, right now I'm going to do my own research as much as I can about religion, spirituality, etc. So what happened was, about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I had a heart attack and I stopped working, sort of took early retirement, which gave me even more time to research and read and learn. Learn what is this all about. It's got to be something. In fact, when I was about 8 years old, going back to 10, I went to church with my parents. We attended church at monastery, Catholic monastery, and on that day the catechism wasn't being held, so I had to attend the service with my parents. And to my astonishment, I don't know how I latched onto this as I did, because I was only 8 years old. The priest was busy preaching about idolatry, worshipping idols, worshipping Baal, worshipping symbols, worshipping statues, etc. So he went on, and I was sort of, blah, 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 blah. And I started looking around me, and right above the main altar in the center of the church was this huge crucifix, massive crucifix of Jesus. And I thought, wow, okay. I looked to the left, there's a side altar down the left, and there was a side section with an altar at the end. And there was a statue of Joseph and Mary, Jesus' parents, biological. Not biological, parents. Wow, okay. And then I looked to the right-hand altar, okay, right side, and there on the altar, I saw a statue of Saint Peter and statues of some other archangels. I thought, okay. Then I looked along the center part of the monastery. On the walls, gables, sort of were the Stations of the Cross. Now, the Stations of the Cross is where you go from one to the other. Anyhow, so when we came out of the church, people were gathered around the priest, thanking him for a wonderful sermon and so on. And I was this little guy, and I looked up at him and I said, Father, all these statues and crucifixes and things inside the monastery, is that not idolatry? And as he had said, it's absolute sin to pray to these things or acknowledge them. And my stepfather nudged me, gave me a smack on my backside for asking such a question of the priest. And as I was sort of slinking away, my word, what have I done now? I heard the priest saying to my parents, what he has asked me is actually very, very true. It's a valid question. However, all of these images and crucifixes, statues, have been especially blessed by the Pope. And they're there to remind us to pray and so on. So that's what I took. That's what I took as thinking, okay. Still obviously always throughout my life have had these kinds of questions going through my mind. And as I say, about 10, 12 years ago, I wrote a book entitled One Life, Love, Ministry. I mean, One Life, Love, um, I can't remember it, can you believe it? One Life, Love, Energy. Because what I had done is I had done a little bit of research on quantum physics, trying to figure out what scientifically the Earth, the universe, animals, people, all living creatures was all about. And I discovered that everything within our universe is made of energy. I thought to myself, is my body purely made of energy? There's substance, and then eventually I learned that there's substance. My body is physical because it's made up of different chemical compounds, and it produces this animal, this human. And so, and that urged me on to find out more and more until I had done enough research to write that book, One Life, Love, Energy, in which I believe that everything is alive, everything is energy, and including nature, all animals, all birds, the air, feel the air, water, it's all energy, different compounds making up different elements, as our bodies are. And I mean, our bodies are 90% water anyway. And so, these thoughts kept me going for a while. And then a year or two later, I wrote another book entitled Spirituality as an Inspirational Thoughts. Now, what I had done is I belong to a writers, because I'm an author, obviously, I'm a writer. I belonged to a writing social site called Gather. And that's the title, Spirituality Gathered Inspirational Thoughts. And I ran a survey. I conducted a survey on this website. And I simply asked the question, what is spirituality? What do you interpret spirituality to mean? And well, I tell you, I received incredible responses ranging from absolute total atheist to absolute holy person, whether it be Catholic, Protestant, Hindu, Muslim, Islamic, whatever. And it was fascinating to me because that brought the whole truth home to me once again, that very, very, very few people actually know what it is to be spiritual. It's a case, sort of begs the question, is it a state of mind, or is it a state of being, or is it an Eastern mystical experience, like meditating deeply, Buddha type of meditating? So the whole truth of the thing is that, do you choose a religion or a different religion, the one that you're in at the moment? Do you dress in a certain way? Do you perform certain rituals or ritual? Do you meditate, try and meditate like a Buddha? Or do you recite certain prayers and a creed of the doctrine that you believe in? And then this also led on to me thinking, obviously, spirituality is being spiritual, acknowledging that all life is spirit-based. Everything is involved in the greater scheme of things, in the spiritual sense, and therefore I am as well. I asked myself the question before I wrote this book: am I a human being experiencing a spiritual life, or am I a spirit being enjoying a human life? Who or what are we humans? What are we people all about? And I found a famous quote by Pierre Teilhard de Chardin in his book, The Joy of Kindness, which reads, because I saw it in a plaque when I was in Facebook one day, I saw this in a blog, and it reads, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." That blew me away. It was like a thought that just blew me away completely. Because if you think about it, who am I? What am I? And on, going on with these thoughts, I eventually wrote a poem. And the poem's title is "Who Am I and Who Are You? We Are One." It reads, "I speak of my body, so I am not the body I refer to. I speak of my mind, so I am not the mind that I refer to. Mind and body belong to me. So then, once again, who am I? If I am not the body or the mind to which I refer, who else can I be but a spirit being here on earth for a while to think, say, and do with my mind and my body?" It is to that extent that this, what I believe is a truth, drove home in my mind. Who am I? Who are you? What are we? Why are we? How are we? Where are we? So many people, most people, believe that we are body, which obviously we can see and feel, and mind. This brings about a body-mind syndrome, because even if you think you're a body and a mind, you're still saying, "I am a body and a mind. I am." It's like René Descartes in one of his writings, with his famous, very famous statement, "I think, therefore I am. I am. I exist. I'm a living being which possesses a mind and a body. Therefore, I concluded that I am a spirit being." Yeah, there are other people who often speak about our Creator, God, and who made us, and how we were made. And interestingly enough, in my readings and research, I found so many things, like in the Catholic religion, for example, they speak about your soul, and that your soul must be pure, and that if you are a Christian, then you are born again, you're reborn, and it is your job to keep your soul as pure as possible. These are, that's the need for redemption, they say. And yeah, sure, Jesus was a great guy. Many believe he was a prophet. All Christians believe he's the Son of God. In the writings about him, he made mention of his Father in heaven. So if we get stuck in the mind-body syndrome, and that's all we're trapped in. It all relates to reality. What is real to me is not necessarily what's real to you. I know that because I have no way of knowing how it is to be you. I only know how it is to be me. And so too, you have no idea how it is to be me. That's the way it is. Now, one's reality is something that is probably set more through childhood than anything else. Your reality regarding life, religion, etc., etc. So whatever religion you were born into, you were pretty brainwashed into. And like I was a Catholic, for sure. So when you bring out myself, I'm start questioning what you've been taught, which is very difficult to do. But then when you try and break out and you decide, no, look, religion is man-made, all of it. I don't want to be in any religion, but I do believe in God, and I do believe that Jesus lived and brought salvation, redemption, etc. But I want to expand my knowledge. Eventually, the thing is, eventually you can expand your knowledge to extremes and still ask the question, who am I? You still don't know. Until you reach the stage where, okay, I'm a spirit being. I'm not brainwashed anymore. I'm open. My thoughts are open. And I want to run with whatever else I go with. Now, that you need to understand also that I am not an atheist. As I've said, I certainly do believe in God, who created us. And He created us as spirit beings. He created us in His likeness. And God is spirit, pure spirit. So therefore, if He created you, you've got to be a spirit. Surely, logically, there can be no question about that. I say, I'm trying to make this clear because a lot of people just get tangled between spirit, soul, mind, body, and they can't get to a point where they can honestly say, I understand that I'm a spirit being. And being a spirit being is your connection to God, my connection to God. That is how we are connected, not bodily. Obviously, I can go through all sorts of temptations and let my mind go crazy and thus tell my body to go crazy with lust, anger, revenge, hatred. There are so many, that I want to, possibly one day I want to kill somebody because my mind is telling me that, this person is bad, or whatever the case may be. But this is how evil infests our minds because we let it. So many things are self-inflicted. I can refer to many things in my life that are self-inflicted. Things that have gone wrong. Like, for example, that motor vehicle accident. I didn't have to get in the car with that guy somewhere, but I chose to. I felt a warning because I knew he was a hell driver. And I felt thinking, no, I mustn't do this. But eventually I gave in. And then go. Of your uncle, that's what happened. So, yeah, it was all his fault. It was my fault that I was in the car with him. So whatever happened was self-inflicted on me. That's how I see it. Any mistake I make, people that have been married 2, 3, 4 times, they need to understand that they made the mistake of marrying that person. Nobody else made the mistake for them. So you see, where I'm getting at with this is that mind and body are tied together. And if you drink too much alcohol, your body gets drunk, your brain feels all drunk. You and your mind are also drunk, and you're jolly, and you're happy, and you're whatever the case may be. But it's because of what you do. Now, when I speak about you, I'm speaking about the spirit. Spirit governs mind and body. Spirit governs soul and body. And there are possibly a handful of things that you can do without, or that your body can do without you telling your mind to do it. Like breathing, for example. Breathing happens automatically. That's because it's a biological process inborn, inbred in the human body. So, I just want to catch up with where I am here. So what I have in the book, Spirituality Gathered Inspirational Thoughts, are a couple of the responses that I'd like to quote because they were intriguing and very inspirational. It was a response to my question, what is spirituality, from a chap called James Stimmy. He said, one wonders why the need to define spiritual and spirituality. It's a semantic quest. Once you arrive at a conclusion, what then? We need a way to talk about one of our human dimensions. We are wired to think of God and to wonder about the purpose of our lives. Are these spiritual activities? This kind of spirituality is a subject I find intriguing. It is a quest for God and purpose, and maybe holiness. But the other side of the word is more fanciful. We start imagining spirits, beings that exist with no bodies, beings somehow not in the physical world, or in the physical world but not part of it, something invisible. And maybe we ourselves are part body and part spirit. And maybe these parts are separable. We here talk about out-of-body experiences, which could be just exercises in imagination. And scripture treats or speaks of overcoming carnality, as if body and spirit were at war. My take is that there is no separation. We do have higher dimensions, ability to imagine, for instance, and propensity to strive for truth and beauty and nobility and love, but we have to own our carnality, as if God created it, and it is good. Lust good? What a thought. It is true, then scripture routinely gets it wrong. Cheers, Jim. My response to that was, Jim, thank you very much for your valuable contribution. This is not intended to be a semantic puzzle, nor the search for the best definition, but a search for what spirituality means in general use, as it is widely used loosely by different people, even those with the same culture. And this is not a trick question either. I am simply intrigued by the responses I've had and will still get. Once you arrive at a consensus, what then? I'm also not aiming at achieving general consensus, as I expect a vast array of answers. I will provide a summary result at the end. Your comment, my take is that there is no separation, I find very interesting. Are you saying that when the body dies, the spirit dies too? Or does the spirit link up with a higher dimension? Regarding carnality, yes, this is the crux of my point. So trapped in living our lives in the physical realm on earth, that we forget that we are spirit beings from eternity to eternity. I'm just looking for another one. Thought was, I still think is interesting. I'll be with you in a second. Yeah, this Renee lady here says, our spirit is connected to its source, God's spirit. When ignited with the Holy Spirit, our spirit is activated to come into alignment with its sole purpose and divine intent. It is then that our gifts, talents, and heart's desires are activated. Personally, because I believe everyone will have their own individual responses to your question, for me, spirituality has much to do with the growth of my spirit for the betterment of my overall well-being, primarily involving the gifts and or talents that I was given. So the content of this book may lead you also to start investigating, thinking, praying, meditating, so that you can find the truth. It is very difficult for me to expect you to find the truth or to accept anything as the truth. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge that I'd like to hand over to you, because it's your life. You've got life. You have a body. You have a mind, and you do whatever it is you wish to do. Which is another interesting thought, speaking biblically, in a Christian sense. And that is that God has given us our own free will to do, to think, to say exactly as we please, and to find the truth of life. Not a given. It's not a given, unfortunately. But these are my thoughts. I'd like you to, if you're interested in having a look at my book, I have. No, I'll put up the Amazon web address for this book at some stage before this is published or viewed publicly. And I really hope and pray that you be blessed, meditate on these thoughts, and I really hope and pray you find the truth. One last thing, I'm not against any Christian doctrine, church, Catholic Church, International Church. I'm not against any religion whatsoever. And believe me, if the religion that you're involved in works for you, if it floats your boat, that makes me happy. And that through it, I trust that you will find the truth. I mean, the simple thing is, remember that Jesus said that he has brought salvation to us. If we believe in him, we will be saved. We will go to heaven. We will, etc. So that's just one of them. I know that Allah and Buddhas and all say much along the same. But it has been a quest of mine throughout my life to find the truth. And I am very happy and blessed to have found it. Throughout a very strange life, we can maybe talk about that another time. For now, shalom.